So we'll just be using this as our image for reference. What you need to do is you just need to go to File, open up an image, import the image, try to have one that is a vertical format, like this, not a landscape one. And you'll see why in a little bit. Then you need to go to Image, Mode, and Grayscale. If it needs to be flattened or discarded, then do it. So now it's grayscale. And just for kicks and giggles, I'm going to go to auto contrast to bring up that light a little bit better. So now it's a little bit more contrasty. Then we go to filter, sketch, and stamp. What this will do is it'll bring up this little stamping thing. We're going to zoom back because we don't have the whole image. And right now there's the whole image. Let's zoom in a little bit more. So now that we have the whole image in there, playing around with this little light and dark toggle will simplify the shapes and kind of show you the darker I go, the bigger the blobs get, right? The dark blobs. So I want to have some information, not too much information or not too little. Then we just change the smoothness. Obviously, if you go one way, more or less smooth, you get more texture. And that creates a little bit more of an interesting look. We want to keep your value structures very simple, black and white. So that's why using the stamp tool is an effective means of doing that. So now we have this really dark area, these hands that are there, and this face. We open that up. Now it's changed. And all you have to do is print this out and use it on a standard piece of paper. And we'll go to that next section.
Okay. Here's my printed picture of John Erickson. It's done with the stamp tool in Photoshop. And here is vertical lines that I drew every 1/4 of an inch. I just took a ruler, measured out a 1/4 of an inch down there, a 1/4 of an inch down there, and then just drew a line connecting the two. So that's all I did with this one. This is the first part of this line drawing exercise. The second part is doing the same exact thing, except you do it at an angle. So here we have angled slices as opposed to just a completely vertical slice. I've taken this image, printed it out, and I've taped it to this window so you're looking outside. That way we're getting sunlight that's coming in through. So when I take this vertical image and place it over my image and line up my corners where I need to.
Just take a piece of tape, put it on the top, and take a piece of tape, put it on the
bottom. That way it won't move around left or right, up and down, wherever you need to. And all you do is you use these lines, these vertical lines, as a guide. If this dark mass touches that pen line, I'm going to make a simple pen line. I have here a permanent Sharpie marker, and this is much better to use than a ballpoint pen, because with a ballpoint pen you'll be filling in shapes, whereas this is a little bit thicker of a tip and you won't have to fill in the shapes. So if it touches the line, that's where you fill it in. And if it goes away from the line, you fill it in to almost the midpoint between the two lines. So all you're doing is you're just going to create a line there, a line there, a line there that kind of goes onto that side. So that's all you do. Just go down this line. Oh, it touches there, touches there, touches there. And it creates a solid line down to there. So from one line, that's what I've created. For the next line, I come over here. Oh, it touches that line a little bit. And it touches this solid line. Because it touches this solid line, I'm going to fill in this shape a little bit more so it's full on that side and full on that side. Now I've filled in that shape, and I'm going to try to leave a simple little line that goes between the two shapes. That way I can see the shape has a continuing value. So now this is touching this line, this whole shape is touching this line, and I leave an open space in the middle. That creates a nice linear view of the whole entire section. Even with this part, I can come over here to where it starts to touch the middle part, and this line coming up here, and that line coming over there, and this line coming down there, and across this way. So there I have that line. I go down this line, do kind of the same type of thing, draw in this shape that is touching it. It comes down, there's another shape. That is touching it. There's another shape that touches it. So this is all you're doing, is you're just going back and forth and trying to fill your way through, finding all the shapes that are touching this one form. And it kind of globs onto that line so that it kind of adheres to it and it falls away from the line. That's kind of the look that you want it to have. And this is all you're doing. So you're just going to find those shapes and draw them in. This forces you to see shapes abstractly and draw them in a linear fashion, using that line to your advantage so that you can create the whole entire image. I'll create the whole entire image and kind of show you the finished product so you have an idea of what I want it to look like. But now you know how to do the assignment, work on the process. The same thing with the next page, you put it over the same type of image, and with the angles, you'll draw in all the shapes with the angles that are being touched. That will kind of give you a different view. How does line affect the visual aspect of the drawing? Does it make a difference? Does it not? Does it enhance it a little bit more better when you have angles? Is it better vertical? Is it better horizontal? But that's the course of the assignment. All right, good luck. Okay, so here's the finished project. Here you can see all the lines are touching those valued lines that I've created. And then wherever the eyes, obviously I haven't drawn in all the eye shapes or the nose shapes, just whatever is touching those lines. And it gives the form or shape of a head and the proportions, and also a body and the hands that are holding this marquee. I didn't even put in the numbers because it was whatever was touching that exact line. So you're going to do this for vertical, and then you will have the image down again. And you'll do it again, except this time with a different slope. So you fill in those lines to whatever angle they are at, and that is the assignment.